Hey everyone, Joe here again from Build Assets Online, and today we're going to be doing a WPX hosting versus GoDaddy comparison. And we're going to be doing this for WordPress sites because on GoDaddy you can host a lot of different things, not just WordPress sites, but WPX hosting is strictly focused on WordPress sites. And if you're watching this video, I'm assuming that that's what you want to do. You want to do WordPress, you want to do blogging, WooCommerce, stuff like that. And at the end of the video, I have an exclusive coupon code where you can get 50% off your first month of WPX. So stay tuned to the end of the video for that, or you can honestly fast forward, I guess, if you want. So I'm going to be very upfront with you guys. I'm very biased towards WPX. I've used GoDaddy, and I did a lot of extra research for this video. And I've used GoDaddy and I've used WPX, obviously. I'm using WPX right now. But you're going to kind of see why that is as we get through all the points. And I think if you're going to make a decision on a host to use between these two, it pretty much has to be WPX if you're serious about growing your blogging business or having any business on WordPress. So GoDaddy isn't nearly as streamlined for WordPress as WPX is. And what do I mean by that? WPX, like their whole support system, everything about them is built for WordPress. Like all of their tech support agents, everything, like they know everything about WordPress, and their support has helped me with so many WordPress things. Like it's unbelievable. As you're going to see through as we get later in this presentation, I couldn't even really get clear answers from GoDaddy's support team on questions about I had about their WordPress hosting. They do have WordPress hosting, so that's what we're talking about here. Like the hosting is specifically tuned to WordPress. The backend is it's like a WordPress special cPanel, much like you would get with WPX. But again, their whole business isn't built around WordPress, whereas WPX's are. And with GoDaddy, there always seems to be like an extra service that I need for things like when I've used them. You can kind of tell by their sales. They always give you like a great upfront deal, and then it recurs like much higher later. So they give you like a lot of weird incentives to get you in the door, but it's never upfront. It's never straightforward. And I really just don't like that when I'm working with a company. I like things to be straightforward. I like things to be easy. I don't want to have to like go through all the details of what I'm buying and go through all the fine print. And that's definitely, if you're going to go with GoDaddy, that's something you're going to want to do. And you're going to see why. So again, I think with WPX, you don't have to be tech savvy. You don't have to be anything. You just have to know how to use WordPress, obviously, because that's where you're going to be blogging. So as long as you know how to use WordPress, WPX will handle the rest, period. I know that from personal experience. GoDaddy, their support is just not as good. I've had some difficulties with them in the past. And you're going to see, I don't even think that at the end of the day, if you really look closely and compare all the pricing options, I don't really think WPX is more expensive than GoDaddy. And you're going to see why again. But even if it is slightly more expensive, you're going to make more money in your business most likely by going with WPX because of all of the extra time you're going to get back in the long run. Like anytime an issue pops up with your website, whether it's something you did, messing around with WordPress or anything like that, the WPX support is going to be there to help. And I cannot tell you how much time the WPX support has saved me. In the past like 3 years or so, I've been using them. They've just saved me a ton of time, and my blogging business has grown from really suffering actually to now bring in like 8 to 10K per month. And I actually, it's been a lot of things. It's been keyword research, it's been strategy, but I actually have WPX to thank for a lot of that because of the great site speed they offer and like just not having to worry about like the little technical details that I've had to worry about with other hosts. So the first thing I'm going to touch on is the clarity of their offers. And I've already alluded to that. And I'm going to go to the next slide in a second. But like I already said, I find working with hosts like GoDaddy very confusing, even after you purchase with them. Because in the back end, and I do still have a GoDaddy account, but there's always a bunch of different things to upgrade, even in the back end of like, oh, you got to get this for this. And it's just never clear like what you need or what you should be using. So let's take a look at the pricing this is for WordPress hosting on GoDaddy. So their basic package starts at $5 a month, And of course, it's on sale now, and you save 50%, and it's $9.99 a month when you renew. So you're going to see in the next slide. So as you select these pricing packages on their website, it's not even clear up front when you're getting what you're getting. So I'm just going to go to this slide for a second. So this is their ultimate plan. And if you go back, their ultimate plan says only $12.99 a month. Okay, and $99 a month when you renew. So in order to get that $12.99 a month, you have to select 36 months. So let me just calculate that out real quick. I should have really done that before I started. But so if you're paying $12.99 a month for 36 months, you have to pay them $467 up front to even get that deal. And to me, when they have stuff like this, it's like really, really misleading. It just I don't know. It doesn't leave a good taste in my mouth. And we're gonna go over all this as well, but that's just something I wanted to point out first was the pricing, because pricing is obviously very important to a lot of people. And with GoDaddy, it's just like you're not getting what you think you're getting, and that's what upsets me about it. So another thing here is, like, if you look at their e-commerce plan, which is the best of their WordPress hosting plan, $15.99 a month they say. But once you actually go to checkout, you have to select 36 months to get that $15.99 a month. And that costs $567, and there probably is going to be more upsells later. So that's a problem to me. I don't like that as a consumer. And so here, if you're going to select 12 months, you're really getting just as good of a deal as WPX, but you're getting lesser service. Like, for example, one thing is you only get one website with this. With that level of package with WPX, you would get 5 websites. And you'd get most of this other stuff as well. I don't think you'd quite get unlimited storage, but I've never run into any storage issues or anything like that. So I just wanted to point that out first and foremost. To me, that is not good. Like, that is a red flag. Like, I'm not going to go with a host, rely on a host that's just trying to do that to me up front. I prefer things to be in plain English before I commit to them. So here's just what I'm talking about. So when I reached out to GoDaddy, and to do further research for this video, I was trying to get more clarity onto what the transaction fees were, because if you go back, if you hover over this, there's no transaction fees on their e-commerce plan. And I was like, what does that mean? Because that's not on the rest of these things. And I know for e-commerce with WordPress, because one of my sites I do have uses WooCommerce. And so I'm asking their support, why do I need to get this? Can't I just install WooCommerce for myself? Because the fees come from the payment gateways. It comes from Stripe, comes from PayPal, and all that stuff. And it was so hard for me just to get a clear answer out of them as to what that was. And basically, what they ended up telling me was that with this e-commerce plan, they basically just install WooCommerce for you, and you get access to the premium WooCommerce extensions. So again, it's just total. I don't know. It's hard to decipher what any of this is that you're paying for. And obviously I've showed you it's not clear how much you have to pay for it up front. So WPX, on the other hand, their pricing is I almost feel like WPX does a worse job at marketing compared to GoDaddy. But when you actually break down what you're getting with their plans, it's a way better deal. So if you look at the business plan, you get 5 websites, 10 gigs of storage, 100 gigs bandwidth, WPX Cloud. GoDaddy has some of this stuff as well. But the pricing is right up front. And it says right here what you get. Unlimited site migration, unlimited SSL, 24/7 customer support, staging area, email, manual backups, DDoS protection, malware scanning and removal, the latest version of PHP, HTTPS, 30-day money-back guarantee, 28-day automatic backups, 99.95% uptime guarantee, one-click WordPress. It just says everything you're getting. I don't have to. I just did rehash it for you, but I guess I don't have to. And that's what I like is when you go through this process, you're gonna have an option to buy a domain, but it's not gonna be oh, get this too. You need this. You need this. This is what you're paying for. This is what you're getting. And it works, and it's great. So here's another, I wanted to pull up, show these chat messages comparing, the front end support for WPX and GoDaddy. So it's just like I asked this guy Dylan on WPX. I asked him a question. Hi Dylan, I was wondering, can I access the cPanel with WPX hosting? And he says to me right away, we do not have a cPanel. We have our own custom hosting panel. In the following link, you may check out more about how to access it and how to use it. He spelled use wrong, but I'll give him a pass. Again, and then I asked GoDaddy support like a different question. I said, is there a staging area for GoDaddy? Let me check this for you. So, and then 3 minutes, she checked it. She has to check with her team. Like these people on the live chat don't actually like know that much about the service, and that's the problem. Like you think their customer support that you're going to be dealing with like is going to be, if their sales aren't like fine-tuned, then odds are their customer service is going to be kind of secondary because they've already sold you. And that's kind of been my experience with GoDaddy support, like when I've needed help when I had my sites on there. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. And here, where can I find info about the deluxe? I will help you with the link. And then she didn't get back to me for like another few minutes. So yeah, it's just not something you want to deal with. Like you don't want that headache when you're thinking about growing a blogging business on WordPress or whatever kind of business on WordPress. So I'm going to go through like some of the main features now that you get with both hosting services. I mean, these are really like the main things that I look for functionality. And honestly, both of them had them. So content delivery network. A content delivery network is basically a network where your site is stored at different locations around the globe. And it just makes it really fast when someone, so say I'm in New Jersey right now, if there's a CDN, part of the CDN is near me, the website is going to get served through the computer that's like closest to me. So both have this with their WordPress hosting. GoDaddy mentions it on their sales page. WPX hosting has it via their WPX cloud. WPX cloud is super fast. I've got a lot of experience with it lately. But yeah, GoDaddy does have a CDN. Site backups for one-click restore. GoDaddy actually does beat WPX on this, but I mean, it's really kind of, I've never thought about restoring my site 90 days in the past. 28 days is more than enough. So what this is like, this is part of WordPress hosting, like part of what you get when you buy WordPress hosting. Usually it's why it's different than regular cPanel hosting is because of stuff like site backups. So if you mess anything up on your site, I can go back, say with WPX, I can go back, say 28 days. I can go back 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, all the way to 28, and just say, I want to restore my website to what it was 3 days ago, what it was 10 days ago. You get the idea. And GoDaddy, you can do that with 90 days. WPX, you can do it with 28 days. So I guess you could say that GoDaddy wins on that one. So I do want to talk about website visitors for their basic plans. WPX doesn't mention anything about website visitors and being capped at that. So when you get this basic plan with GoDaddy, again, it's not going to be $5 a month. I've kind of showed that before, but it still caps you up to 25,000 monthly visitors. The next plan up caps you up to 100,000 monthly visitors. You don't run into that with WPX. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that there's no threshold on that. Again, it's part of the whole thing with GoDaddy where it's just like you hit a certain point, oh, you got to upgrade. And I'm not a big fan of that. So number of websites. With GoDaddy, like I just showed you, all these plans, you get one website. Every time you upgrade with WPX, you get more websites. I'm currently on this plan. This is the monthly. The yearly pricing will be lower. But I'm currently on this plan. I think I pay $9.99 per year, and I get 35 websites, and it's great. It's super easy to manage. So the staging area. For GoDaddy, you need the ultimate plan for this. And like I said, it's 90 days. Sorry, I don't know why I wrote 90 days there. But you do need the ultimate plan to get the staging area in WordPress. And what a staging area is that it allows you to clone your site and make temporary edits on the cloned site so that you're not messing with your site when it's live. And then once you've got your cloned site perfect to how you want your live site to look, you can just merge it with the live site. And GoDaddy doesn't call it a staging area. I just want to show you what they call it real quick. They call it, where is it? Where is it? I cannot find it. Oh, one-click testing site. I think that's what GoDaddy calls it. and you don't get it with GoDaddy until you get the deluxe plan. So there you go. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention is like SEO optimizer. It's just like GoDaddy's not going to help you rank in Google. There's like, period. You have to have knowledge of SEO. You have to structure your site the right way. You have to, obviously there's certain WordPress plugins that are going to help, like Yoast and stuff like that. But there's so much that goes into SEO, and like the fact that they're going to add this as part of their thing, like it's just not going to be effective. And I just feel like it's another, value add on their part that doesn't really add any value. So it kind of sounds like I'm being harsh on them, and maybe I am a little bit, but I'm just really passionate about like my hosting, and I have used both, and like I said, WPX has been a game changer for me. So speed. My personal experience with WPX is that it's a lot faster. Now, we bought a site on Empire Flippers a few years back. Maybe it was like 2 years ago now. And the only reason I even have a GoDaddy account is because of this. So we bought a site on Empire Flippers, and in order to comply with the migration, they had to migrate the website to GoDaddy because it was already hosted on GoDaddy. So I had to actually buy a GoDaddy hosting package just to deal with this. And yeah, I think I had to buy like a whole year, even though I wasn't sure if I was gonna actually move the site to WPX, but I still had to buy a whole year from what I remember. And anyway, turns out I put it on GoDaddy. Site was pretty slow. I was like, let me move this to WPX, and that's what I did. And the site was a whole lot faster when I did, at least at my anecdotal experience. Now, I did not run any like speed tests or anything like that, but I'm just not that techie. But doing some research around the web, there's been people that have done like pretty serious speed tests comparing WPX to other hosts, and from what I've seen, WPX like comes out on top almost every instance that I've seen in various different tests. Like people have done where they test like how well it handles plugins, like plugin updating, and just all sorts of in-depth site speed tests that personally, like just using the site, you're not gonna be able to detect. But if you're interested in those nerdy metrics, that stuff is out there. But I can tell you from personal experience that WPX is just way faster, and I know that because I transferred my site from GoDaddy to WPX. So email, both services give you free email inboxes. GoDaddy gives you a free business email for 1 year, and then you get like a recurring charge. Not much to say about this, honestly. I mean, the WPX email is just like a normal email inbox. You don't want to use it for bulk emailing or anything like that. But if you want a business email, when I say bulk emailing, I mean like just sending thousands of emails all at once. But if you want a business email, it's pretty simple. You just make your email inbox inside of WPX, and then you can, if you want to, you can use that email inbox, or you can just hook it up to a Gmail account for free. And it's really easy to do, and even the WPX support will help you with that. And it's totally free. It's just part of what they offer. So GoDaddy, again, you get an email thing for 1 year, and then you get a recurring charge. So again, so let's talk about WordPress, e-commerce, and WooCommerce. So WPX hosting, you get no extra charges at any plan. And when I made this slide, I was still actually trying to figure out what they meant by the no transaction fees here on the e-commerce plan. And what I basically got out of the live chat with what they meant was that you can install WooCommerce on your own, and there's no restriction on any of the plans. But when you pay for this, they set it up for you. So if you want, you can pause the video and read this chat message. It was really hard for me to get like real clarity as to what this even meant on their plan. I'm sorry if this is a little bit small on your screen. I'll go to the bigger part. I'll go to the bigger screenshot of this for a second. So you can see in the e-commerce plan, it says no transaction fees. And that was really confusing to me because the support told me you can install WooCommerce on all of these things, but you're still obviously going to have the payment gateway transaction fees with any of them, whether it's Stripe, PayPal, blah, blah, blah. So I was not able to get a clear answer that I adequately understood from GoDaddy about this. And like I said, with WPX, it's just straightforward. Like you install, like you put on WooCommerce, and you have an e-commerce store on your WordPress site. Like there's nothing else to think about. So anyway, sorry I couldn't give you like full clarity on this. I really tried to get it out of them, and you can do some due diligence on your own if you want. So wrap up. I would go with WPX hosting 100% of the time if you're serious about having a WordPress site. Given what I showed in the pricing structure, and you can go do this research yourself, it's not even more expensive once you get past how GoDaddy advertises it. And the service speed and support of WPX far exceeds GoDaddy in my opinion, so it's a very easy decision. So I'm going to show you right now how to claim that coupon code that I promised you. Just stay tuned, and here it is. To claim the coupon code, you got to go to buildassetsonline.com/WPX. Type that into your browser, and then what you're going to do is you're just going to go to Start Now, or you can click the pricing and check out the different pricing options, but Start Now is the easiest. And then you're going to select monthly. It doesn't work for the yearly one. And then you can select any of these. So I'll just click the basic one, or I'll click the elite one. Let's host in the US. You can use whichever one you need depending on your hosting requirements. I'm just going to make a fake website here, buildassetsonline.com, buildassetsonline2.com. Continue. And now you're going to enter coupon code BAO. The coupon code does have to be in all caps, all capital letters. Obviously for Build Assets Online, that's me. That's the channel you're watching. And then press apply. Cool. So as you can see on this plan, you got a $49 discount on your first month. So there you have it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this WPX hosting versus GoDaddy comparison. Be sure to subscribe to Build Assets Online. This isn't the only type of content we do, but I'm doing a stream of videos about WPX lately, and you're going to see why. This is actually part of a case study, and I'm going to clarify this later on the channel. So if you're interested in internet marketing, making money online, whatever you want to call it, just check us out, and hope you've enjoyed. See ya.